stir-fried vegetables with what you have laying around. So I had this bok choy that I was using. Now I don't want to waste it. I didn't want to cook it just alone. And then I dug up in the refrigerator the rest of these items here, and we're going to have a nice large bowl of stir-fried vegetables. And what you really need, and I like to use to saute, is peanut oil. And then later to flavor it with a little sesame oil. And I like tamari soy sauce and a little oyster sauce. And honey in the place of plain white sugar. Even though it is sugar, it's a hell of a lot healthier for you than white sugar. And I had leftover broccoli too. So we're going to add this at the end. And you'll see what the whole thing looks like when it's done. It'll be beautiful and tasty. So let me cut everything up, get the amounts, and we'll continue. I just want to show you. Cucumber. You can cook cucumber. You find that in a lot of recipes. Anyway, take a spoon, take the seeds out. You can cut it this way, but I want chunks because this cooks so fast. And then you just cut on an angle like so. And if I had my channel tool, I would have made a channel this way to make it even look more decorative. So that takes care of the cucumber. Nice big chunks. Also, you want to dress up the carrot a little. Nice fat carrot. Just give a little like so. And then back in there again, you have a little. Take it out, and what you have is a nice groove in there. So you do that every, let's say, half an inch. Then I'll show you what else. So after you made the grooves, cut the carrot down the middle in half, and then just go like so, like 1/4 inch pieces. Now I don't expect you to do this if you're just cooking this for yourself. This is only to impress your company. And when it comes to the celery, peel the rib. See that? That will make the celery very easy to chew. So do that before you cut it up. Now as far as cutting the celery, there's so many different ways you can do it. I like to just lay it down like this and cut like so. Not too thin. I like to chew on stuff. And this is easy to chew since it's been peeled. That's what I do to the celery. Okay, all my prep is done. That took a little while. This is the bok choy, the white part. I washed it, let it dry on a towel. Do this first, let it really dry because you're going to be sauteing that in hot peanut oil. And you don't want it to be splattering all over the place. And just as I washed the leaves also, the green part of the bok choy. So do this hours in advance. Let it drain well. And then what we have here is everything else. Yeah, it's in the camera view. The carrots, the celery, the cucumber, the onion, the ginger, and the garlic. That's a lot of ginger. I happen to like a lot of ginger, so you don't have to use that much. I like that burning feeling as it goes down your throat. Now, in order to cook this, to make this simple and easy, I'm going to saute each of the items separately. This way you don't have to worry about, oh, what do I put into the wok? You know, what goes first? Yeah, well, the carrots would go first because they take the longest. Then you could put the onions and celery, and the last you would put the cucumber and the bok choy, white part, and then finish it up with the leaves. And you see this broccoli? I forgot to serve it last night for dinner, so we're going to incorporate that in there. And that's it. Then I do each item. As I do each one, Then I will transfer it into this big pan and we'll finish everything up in there. To me, that's the simplest way for people that are not sure, you know, which items to cook, and you don't have to worry about overcooking or undercooking anything. Now, high flame. I used to have an ice wok where it had a ring around it, and it kind of rusted out. Anyway, I've had this pan for like almost 20 years. It's like impervious to anything. Peanut oil for flavor, plus it can take the heat. So just put a little bit. If it starts to smoke, that's okay. I have the fan on because if I don't, the smoke alarm will go off. So let me put in there. I'm going to put the carrots. Oh, does that smell good, the peanut oil? Well, if you're allergic to peanuts, don't use it. Use whatever oil you like to use. And the onions. Remember, everything, when you wok vegetables, they're supposed to be a little al dente. And we're going to put in there just a pinch of salt and pepper. But later, of course, the soy sauce and the oyster sauce, you know, has salt in it, so you don't want to over-season anything. Well, we're not going to waste film. I'm just showing you, okay, you got the oil in there. Now you have to saute and you have to stay with it, keep on mixing it. So I'm going to be mixing this for about 5 minutes. There's an even easier way to do this. You could steam all of the vegetables separately and then finish them in the pan later. But I think we're going to get a little bit more flavor out of this way. Now that's been about 2.5 minutes. I'm going to throw just a little bit of the garlic, a little bit of the ginger, now I just lower the flame. You notice that the ginger and garlic is not burning, but I lowered it anyway for the last like half a minute. The moisture from the onions is keeping it from burning. So when that timer goes off, that'll be 5 minutes of sauteing this. And then we'll add the next item immediately. So we just dump that into put a little more peanut oil. Let's do the celery. That'll cook quickly also because killed it and it should be al dente. Let's put, I don't know if I'm going to put all of the Bok Choy in there. No. And again, just a pinch of salt. Okay, so this will take a few minutes. It's at 2 minutes, so we're going to add a little bit of ginger and garlic. And 2.5 minutes, so that's enough. We're going to deglaze it with a third a cup of water. This kind of cleans the pan and picks up the flavor of whatever's in the pan. Now I'm going to pour this. We only have 2 more items. This is the Bok Choy. Don't burn yourself. A pinch of salt and pepper. Salt and pepper mix. So far I'm with a nice amount of vegetable. And I'm going to serve this with a bowl of either sticky rice or just plain white rice. Add a little bit more garlic and ginger. Alright, in 1 minute exactly from now I'm taking that out. Now the last, well not the last, but yeah, the last item to saute. The bok choy green leaves and the cucumber. Salt, put the rest of it, ginger, and garlic, and then we'll put another 1/3 of a cup of water in here. Pick up what flavors in there. I'm going to let the camera run now, because you see how this is shrinking up. This takes no time. Why did I put the cucumber? Because I had no use for it and I didn't want to lose it, let it go bad. And I didn't want to eat this plain cucumber with dressing. How fast that shrunk, and that's it. We are done. As soon as I put in the last 1/3 of a cup of water. Okay, we'll cut that off. Cut that down because we're not washing anymore, and let's just see the amount that we have and how it looks. Well, in the recipe I'm going to increase the amount of carrots because there's not enough yellow in there. Everything else looks pretty good. That's enough for 2 people. So now I'm going to put the honey, which is a pain in the neck because it always sticks to everything. Usually if I was going to use oil, I would put the oil measure the oil in there. Then when you put the honey, it just flows out easy. But since I also have to put soy sauce, so I'll mix that. And that should come out a little bit easier now. Yep. And then the oyster sauce. And then we're going to mix up a little cornstarch and water, which will be the thickening. So the last step, and the most important, since I already tasted the liquid in there and it tastes great, is to take the cornstarch and water, smooth it out. Now this is more than what you need, but you know what? It's easy to work with. It's only 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of water. And that's coming to a boil So we don't want to overcook this. So what we do is, as it's cooking, now we just add some slowly. As soon as the color turns a little bit darker, that means that'll thicken up. Now we have this amount here, and that looks pretty good. And we want the vegetables coated nicely. So we're going to put a little bit more. It has to have that shiny look like that you always see when you're eating in a Chinese restaurant. Which it does. You know what? Just put the rest. So that worked out well. And that's it. It's all done. Shut off the fire. And then later on, just warm this up for a second. Now we have to add one more thing. And the last item is going to be the scallions. So we put the scallions in there. I like mixing it up. I'm going to put this on the plate here, and when we look at it, you'll say, wow, that looks just like it does in the Chinese restaurant. The difference is, sure, there are a lot more things you could put in here, but like I said, this is what I had laying around, and you see there's no excess in the sauce. So the amount of liquid that we added, you have to keep that in mind. And there you go, a nice plate of stir-fried vegetables with all leftover stuff. Enjoy. I saw something here I forgot. This, very important. And you don't need a lot. So we put in there half a teaspoon. And then when we heat it up later, I'm going to put in the broccoli because the broccoli is already cooked and it'll work just fine like that. So now you just stir it up. You always have to add the sesame oil at the end. Now you can enjoy it. And there's my dinner. So I have to sit down and eat this now while it's still hot.